friendship that'll never ever end.
Run!
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Reaction Beanie Yo 440. Day in that neighborhood. My brothers and sisters. It is that time once again to get into one of these true crime, horror, dark, deep, and mysterious what the is going on type of videos. And today, it is Wednesday. So y'all know who we're about to go back to. Mike from that chapter. That chapter Wednesdays, y'all. It is always a delight when we get to go back to Mike. And the title of the video is Killer's Vlog Fuse Bizarre Murder Mystery. 3 videos with dark backstories. I love when Mike do his 3 stories too, y'all. Like, I love when Mike do his 3 stories. I love when Mr. Ballin had the 3 stories. I love when the Lazy Man, Tragedy Tales. Like, I just overall like when some of these people that we be watching, man, you know, these content creators, I should say, be giving us more than one story within the video, y'all. So that right there within itself got me excited. And then the Killer's Vlog Fuse Bizarre Murder Mystery. So did the killer tell on him or herself in the vlog? That's interesting too, man. That's interesting. But it's freaking that chapter, so it's just interesting anyway. We already know it's gonna be good. You know what I'm saying, man? And I'm just ready to get into it. But before we get into it, my brothers and sisters, y'all know what y'all got to do. Get whatever you might need and get what you need, please. We back to Mike from that chapter. Y'all got what y'all need, y'all ready to go? Then let's go.
Hey you, and welcome. My name is Mike, and in this old video, I have some very weird and bizarre videos to share with, guess who? That's you. These 3 videos can each on the surface look like something you'd see and then not think twice about. Like this one.
Hi, whoever is watching, hope Narumi. This video is to set a statement.
Just a nice video of a man filming a little vlog for his girlfriend. I hear you thinking, but then you get to the real uh-oh moment of the story. Especially as the full story remains a disturbing mystery to this day. Before we get into it, please click that little old subscribe button to see new crime and horror videos every single week. Now, let's give it a go.
Let's give it a go. And get whatever you might need. And just that little first clip of the dude saying, hi, this is a statement. The first thing came to my mind, he recording this video after he done murdered somebody. Like, the body probably in the house with him as he recording that little vlog or whatever, man. That's just the first thing that came to my mind, y'all. You know, I don't know the full details yet, but that's a pretty good guess, right? I don't know. Let's see.
In the year 2016, a young woman, only 21 years of age, traveled from Tokyo, Japan, to France to attend university. Her name was Narumi Kurosaki. She grew up with her 2 younger sisters in Japan, and after graduating high school, she wanted to study economics. And so if you wanted to study economics, then where else would you go other than the University of Franche-Comté in Besançon in eastern France? I know I butchered French, but come on. Narumi was a very independent person, worldly, even especially like in the very, insular Japan. She had no problem putting herself out there. She especially would always hang out with foreigners, Westerners especially. She's a real go-getter, had no problem going around by herself, doing her own thing. Trying out new things, planning for the future. She was active, she was dynamic. In fact, Narumi had a boyfriend, Nicholas Zepeda, or they had been dating, kinda sorta. See, Narumi and Nicholas, they had met back in 2014, which is 2 years before this story was set. They had met in Japan. Nicholas was 5 years older than Narumi and from Chile. He was in fact born into the big pesos. His daddy-o, Umberto Zapata, was an executive with a major telecommunications company in Chile. His mother, she was well connected in Chilean politics. And so, great things were expected of El Nicholas. Did he achieve them? Let's see. And so in October 2014, Narumi and Nicholas, who was doing a year abroad, had met at a party at the University of Tsukuba, just outside of Tokyo. They headed off and they began seeing each other. Nicholas took Narumi to Chile to meet his family, and once his year abroad studying in Japan was over, he went back to Japan looking for work in 2016. It was seemingly pretty serious between the two of them. Or at least, that's what Nicholas was thinking. However, Narumi had plans for herself. She wanted to do what Nicholas had done, go study abroad, meet new people, travel the world. The relationship was a bit, heavy for Narumi, and Nicholas could be a bit clingy, a bit needy, and, for independent worldly Narumi, she was like, I had enough. And so it was in late summer 2016 that Narumi ended the relationship. She moved to France in October 2016, and a couple of days even after she left, Nicholas himself went back to Chile. End of. Sort of.
Oh, Lord, here we go, man. Another freaking story, y'all, about somebody breaking up with the other partner, just breaking up with them, saying, hey, I want to go do my own thing, hey, this is not working. This is not working. I got other stuff in my life I want to achieve, and I don't think I can achieve it with you. Just a nice little breakup, but the person you breaking up with is a crazy mother, and they not gonna let you go. That's what it seemed like we getting towards, y'all. This dude here probably was obsessed with this young lady. And even though she broke up with him, that obsession never left. And ain't no telling what he ended up doing. Let's see.
Narumi moved to France. She started seeing a new man. All was well. On December 4th, 2016, which was a Sunday, Narumi was heading back to her dorm room after attending a dance class at the university. This was at around 4 p.m. That was the last time Narumi was seen. At 3:20 a.m. that night, screams were heard coming from the dorm. Other students were scared shitless. They did go investigate, but couldn't hear where they were coming from, and Narumi didn't show up for class in the following days. Texts would be sent from Narumi's phone to friends, explaining her disappearance, saying, she had some problem with her passport, and so she had to go to the Japanese consulate, which was on Lyon, a city not too far away from where she was attending university. Her bank card was also used to buy a train ticket to go from Besançon to Lyon. But when followed up with, nobody resembling Narumi was on the train when that ticket was due to be used. Narumi wasn't reported missing until the 14th of December, which was 10 days after she had last been seen, which is kind of amazing that nobody reported her missing earlier than that, including her boyfriend. I don't know.
Yeah, this is just crazy, man. 10 days before anybody reported her missing. Now I understand that she was not around her immediate family and stuff, but you would think that even her immediate family, even if they back home in Japan or where she was born and raised, that her mama and daddy or sister and brother, somebody would call her within 10 days. But not even that fact. The craziest part is your boyfriend. He ain't even reported you missing. 10 days? Your friends? Anybody? 10 days? That's a long time. I'm saying if one of my coworkers, who I wouldn't even call a friend for real, but just a coworker, if he go missing for 10 days and ain't nobody heard from him, we would have been reported it. You know what I'm saying? So that's just very strange. And the boyfriend not reporting it is really pointing the eye that, dude, this could be you. Yeah, do you know where she at? Do you know?
Don't know either, but when police, investigators did go to her dorm room where, those screams had been heard, nothing was out of the ordinary there. The police began to trace her last movements, and they found out that she had actually gone for dinner on the night of December 4th, which was the last day she was seen. The meal had been paid for with a, dun-dun-dun, Chilean bank card. Motherfucker.
Hi. Whoever is watching, hope Narumi. these videos to set an statement. Recently, Narumi did some bad things which are costing her to follow some conditions in order to keep this relationship. Even though that, I believe we should live in another way. We should live without those conditions, but trusting each other and being honest and not hiding. I think that's the much more healthy way to live. So the statement said that the conditions are applicable, some of them for her whole stay in France and some others actually forever.
This was a video posted to Nicholas Zepeda's Daily Motion account in September 2016. 3 months
What the fuck is he talking about, man? Like, dude, that is just a confusing ass vlog or whatever he just did. I don't know what the freak to call that, man. What the hell you talking about? She got to deal with some conditions, whatever is applicable. Like, what the fuck? That was a whole bunch of nothing that just came out of his mouth to me. A whole bunch of nothing.
months before Narumi's disappearance. And in this video, as you can hear for yourself, he's setting some conditions for Narumi, and that she has to pay for what she has done. It's freaky, it's disturbing, and we got a prime example of good old beep beep Manson lamps.
So if in 21st of September, until 21st of September, she follows all the conditions, I'm gonna just leave them out because I don't want to live that way, and I don't want her to live that way either. But at the same time, she needs to build trust and she needs to pay a little cost of what she did, and assume that she cannot go around making those kind of mistakes with a person who loves her. Yes. 2 weeks.
The dude is fucking crazy, man. This dude is just crazy. Long story short, story long. Like, this is the most vague statement I ever heard in my life. Like, he ain't giving no details of what the hell he is really talking about. All he's saying is she gotta be punished for some conditions. We don't know what she gotta be punished about. We don't know what the conditions is. We don't know why the hell you giving her 2 weeks to do this. Like, dude, like, what the fuck? You just said a whole bunch of nothing. But in a way, you incriminating yourself. If this lady end up dead, let's go.
When the police searched Narumi's room, they found Nicholas's DNA in multiple places, and terrifyingly, Narumi's blood was found on the emergency door exiting the dorm.
Time out, y'all. Time to freak out. I think I just got it. I think I just cracked the code of all the bullshit that he was saying. I think what he was saying, long story short, short story long, he have her kidnapped. It's just my thought, y'all. I'm trying to come up with something like I come up with the Mr. Ballin stores. I'm trying to come up with some craziness. He got her kidnapped, probably in that same goddamn house where he took that video from, and was saying that she being held captive without being, like I said, he was being very vague. But what he was saying was, I got her kidnapped. She is being held captive, and she gonna be held captive for 2 weeks until she can, what he said, be applicable or whatever, applicate whatever for these conditions. She got to go through these certain conditions before she got to suffer before I can let her free. She got to suffer for what she did to someone who loves her. Like, I think that's what he's saying, man. I think he got her kidnapped. I don't think she dead yet. I don't know. Good theory though, right? That sound about right. I'm trying to make sense of the nonsensical, y'all. Let's go.
Police would also find a hell of a lot of communications, I'm talking texts, I'm talking messages, between Narumi and Nicholas, and he's like setting all, like he's in that freaking weird ass video, right? Setting conditions, telling her to delete all these Facebook friends, telling her to delete her new boyfriend. Narumi refused to do that. He's sending all these messages, then comes this video where demands become more threatening, and then comes Nicholas himself. However, by the time the French authorities realized all of this and they were still searching for Narumi, Nicholas himself was back home. He was back in Chile. And so began a multi-year case of extraditionary shit. All the while, the police continued to search for Narumi, and they still do to this day. She has never been found. The area around Besançon, if you look at it on a map, it's kind of remote. It's in the foothills of the Alps. Very mountainous, heavily forested, and so lots of these forests were searched, including like right after, when the snow was everywhere. And you'd think it would be easier to track where he had gone after, but no. I mean, 10 days had passed before they even started looking for her. However, Nicholas, who had flown from Chile to France just to see Narumi, and he was the last person to see her, he had rented a car while there. When he returned the car to, like, Hertz or whoever, when he got the car back, they would say it was covered in soil inside the car, and in the trunk of the car was, like, dirt and muck and all this shit. Nicholas was named a primary suspect as soon as his DNA was found, along with the messages and that video. He appeared to be an overly obsessed, insanely jealous boyfriend who could just not leave her alone. Interviewing some other people Nicholas had met while in Europe after he left Besançon, there were more worrying revelations. He had met up with one of his cousins in Spain, not revealing at all that he had gone to see Narumi, instead saying he was in Europe to go to some convention in Geneva. His cousin, who was a doctor, was later interviewed by police, and he specifically remembered Nicholas asking about death by suffocation. Nicholas also asked one of his Japanese friends to translate some messages into Japanese, and these would be the same messages sent from Narumi's phone.
Wow.
Nicholas was eventually charged with her murder. Nicholas was living under house arrest until spring 2020, when he was extradited back to France. Nicholas pleaded not guilty and said the screams heard by people that night was because they were having sex, and it was just great. He then said he left, didn't know anything after that. I don't know where Narumi is either. It's just a coincidence I happened to leave and then she's never been seen again. Man, one of them old coincidences.
I know, right?
In April 2022, Nicholas was found guilty and sentenced to 28 years in prison. There was a retrial in December 2023. He was found guilty again. Same old sentence. And where Narumi Kurosaki is today remains a mystery.
I don't know if I like that, y'all. That 28 years ain't enough for me. If they would have said 48, 58 years, then that would have been good enough, man, because now you know he ain't going to get out. But, I mean, them 28 years, I don't know. I can't remember how old he was, but he might be able to get out when he an elderly man, 60, 70 some years old, and I don't like that. You need to die in prison, man, because he freaking did it, y'all. This is one of the ones where we all can come to the conclusion that he did it. You the last one to seen her, bro? Come on, man. You her ex. You already done shown obsession through your freaking phone calls and the text messaging and all that. Then that bizarre, vague-ass video that he put out. And I could have been wrong on my little crazy theory. I probably was wrong on that because a lot of that stuff he was already doing before he even put out that video telling her about conditions and stuff. And he probably... But... one thing we know for sure, y'all, he didn't murder her in her apartment because the police went there and said it was like nothing had happened. You know what I'm saying? It looked plain as day. So he had to been drugged out to that rental car and maybe he killed her there in another spot, put her in the trunk, yada, 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 dumped the body somewhere, all that. But I'm pretty sure that he is the one who freaking killed her, man. That's what it leaned towards. That's what all the evidence is going towards. That's what happened. And I just want to say, rest in peace to Naomi just one time, man. Just rest in peace to her, man. Beautiful young lady lost her life way too soon. Dealing with somebody who, it's so crazy, man, how you get into relationship with people, you know, like you open your heart to people and want to love people and maybe think that one day this could potentially be your husband or your wife or your baby mama, baby daddy, whatever. And they can be the most craziest person in the world and end up being the one that end your life just because you want to break up with them. It's just, it make it damn near not want to be in a relationship, man. Make it a little scary, y'all. But let me shut the fuck up, man. Like I said, man, just rest in peace to her. And we still got 2 more backstories, y'all. Let's go.
It was a very cold night in November 2015 when a 911 call was made. This was in Houston, Texas, and the caller had just arrived to his girlfriend's apartment to find an extremely horrifying scene. See, he had been texting her that night, and after a certain point, she had stopped responding. This guy, Marcus was his name, began to worry. She had a high-risk occupation, and so he went over to her place, and he let himself in.
What is your emergency?
Someone has killed my girl.
The woman's name was Shelby Thornburg, and she was lying naked and face down on her bed. A bed that was supposed to be white, now completely dark red. A stain soaking through the sheets, mattress, and dripping into a puddle on the floor.
God.
Her throat had been cut open so bad, she'd almost been decapitated.
Bro.
Shelby was 20 years of age, from rural Texas, and she had been in and out of foster homes for pretty much the entirety of her childhood. She was extremely close though, always, with her sister Christina. Eventually they moved to Houston, and there Shelby became an escort. That's what she did for a living, and it seems her boyfriend Marcus was also like her pimp or something. So who had she had a date with that night? Who had brutally murdered Shelby? Initially all eyes went towards Marcus, as you can imagine they would, but he was quickly cleared via the building's CCTV. He only showed up when he said he did. So who was their suspect, if not Marcus? Then whom? Well, the more you learn about this guy, the less you know, because he is one scary bastard. They could tell that the person who had been communicating with Shelby that day had communicated via a burner phone. That's what they were using to talk to Shelby, when they started talking to her, when they found Shelby's back page advertising her services. That's how they were communicating. The phone had been activated 12 days before the murder, then deactivated the day after the murder. The phone was only ever used on the road. I'm talking freeways, I'm talking highways, so impossible to trace really to any one singular location. It had pinged near her apartment at Conquistador Apartments in the days leading up to the murder. Perhaps he was scoping it out.
I think whoever did this is like premeditated. Like the whole burner phone thing, and then the way that they did it, it just left and vanished and deactivated the phone. The phone thing, what I'm really sticking on, y'all. The fact that they weren't using their phone, they got a burner phone. Why you got a burner phone calling her? You know what I'm saying, man? I think they had the intentions from the beginning to murder this lady.
This phone had also been used to contact other sex workers who all kind of similarly looked like Shelby, white blonde-haired girls. Then at 8:33 p.m., Shelby received a text from this guy saying, "I'm here." About 5 minutes later, Shelby texted Marcus her safe word, so all was well. But all was not well. Shelby had been on the bed when she was attacked from behind with a large knife and her throat cut open. The cut was so deep it nicked her spine and almost exsanguinated her.
Man, them pictures, y'all. Hold up, man. Some of y'all probably like, don't take it back and look at it again. But man, the picture of all this blood in this bed,
when she was
man.
attacked from behind with a large knife and her throat cut open. The cut was so deep it nicked her spine and almost exsanguinated her.
Jesus Christ, that's just graphic.
From the moment he went up to the moment he left, it was 22 minutes, and they did not have sex in that time. He was there just to kill her. There was no fingerprints left behind at her apartment. There was only the slightest bit of DNA, which when the police entered it into their system, it didn't bring up like any things, didn't light up your system at all, no matches. And it's kind of been said as well that the DNA that left behind was such a small amount, it wouldn't be useful for like genealogy, familial DNA, linking it to anybody else. In fact, out of this entire case, there's only one thing they have to try and identify who this son of a bitch was.
Let me show you a picture of the victim. She is 20 years old. Her name is Shelby Thornburg. She was killed about 9 o'clock on November the 4th of last year. We're told she was killed inside her apartment at 7500 Bel Air. Let me show you some pictures just released of the suspect. Police believe that he met her not long before her death. We're told they texted back and forth, but that phone was not registered, so they couldn't trace that person.
CCTV footage showed him entering and leaving the building at the time of her death. He has been named as a prime suspect in a murder, yet who he is remains a mystery. He is a young white guy, that's kind of, end of list. He had zero blood on him after such a violent scene, and was as cool as a cucumber. All of these facts have led the FBI to believe that he is a serial killer. He knew what he was doing, did it well, and had likely done it before, and maybe since.
And that's what I was trying to say earlier, y'all. Long story short, story long. Like, he knew that he wanted to kill her from the beginning. It ain't just happened in the moment. He knew before he even got to her apartment what he was intending to do. And that's why he was using that burner to text and call all these other women, contact all these other women off Backpage. You know what I'm saying, man? And he was just trying to find him a victim, and he found him one. And I truly do believe he is a serial killer. I hate to say it, but I don't even think she was his only victim. And then you got to think about the possibility that he is still out on the streets right now. There's a strong possibility that he's still out here as I speak right now, y'all, probably looking for another victim. Crazy, man. Let's go.
It was real cold in Canada. Goddamn, all of these stories take place like when it's real cold in the winter. It's a metaphor for Georgetown is a wealthy area in Canada. It's southwest of Toronto. And if you said a murder happens there, I would say you must be joking, but a murder did happen there, so I guess it can really happen anywhere. It was at 5:36 a.m. on February 17th, 2021, that the Halton Hills Fire Department were called to a house on Hidden Lake Trails in Georgetown. They had one hell of a fire on their hands, as you can see. A house had exploded in the middle of the night. The firefighters were able to successfully extinguish the home, and the place was in ruins. But that was when an even more horrifying discovery was made. The two occupants of the house were dead.
Damn.
Their bodies had been burnt to a crisp. But an autopsy would reveal that the two of them had been murdered before the fire started. The fire had been set, it would turn out to cover up the scene, and it didn't do a very good job.
Fully engulfed in flames just after 5:30 this morning after reports of a fire in the garage. Halton Hills firefighters put out the flames and found two bodies on the main floor of the home, which is located on Hidden Lake Trail. Police are not identifying the victim, saying next of kin notification is underway. No one else was hurt, and the fire did not spread to any neighboring homes. Asked if there was any reason to believe this was suspicious, police say they have no information about how it started.
At this time, we don't really know what the cause of it is, and that's what we're trying to determine right now. You can see the damage. It's very extensively damaged, so we have absolutely no information as to what the cause is at this point in time.
Living there had been Andrej and Christina Rirak, described as a very nice couple, always friendly with the neighbours, both natives of Ontario. Andrej, as he went by Andrew, was 59 years old, and his wife, Christina, she went by Amelia, 56 years old. Both very hard-working people who had risen the ranks of their respective careers. Andrew, he was the regional engineering manager at BI&I. That's the Boiler Inspection and Insurance Company of Canada, to you and me. Amelia was a vice president at Rogue Speciality Transport. You need it, they got you. Neither were involved in anything shady, so how did both, these normal, hard-working people come to such a gruesome end in that they were murdered and then their house was set on fire? Well, the fact that it could be so random was terrifying, but what was even more horrifying was that about 11 hours before the house exploded, the same CCTV just across the street caught this. And it is terrifying. You can see a car pull into the garage. That's Amelia coming home from work. Andrew was already inside the house. Then you can see a figure emerge from the shadows and sneak into the garage after Amelia, hiding at one side of the car.
That's crazy.
What exactly happened then is unknown, but Amelia was stabbed to death. Then this intruder continued into the house, finding Andrew, where he too was stabbed and beaten to death. Then, 11 hours later, the house exploded. The investigation would soon find CCTV of a car that had been in the area, and then finding that car led them to one Harrison Brown, who, it would be determined, was an employee at Rogue Transportations Limited. Harrison was 21 years of age, and in the weeks leading up to this brutal double murder, he had been getting into conflicts, having arguments, just up to all sorts, you know, with fellow employees and with Amelia, it's believed, to the point where they were like, here, listen, Harrison, head home, get home with you, you know, they kicked him out there and said, listen, you're going to be working from home for a while because you can't work around other people. Now, I hear you're barking, big dog. Why wasn't he just fired? If he was like, you know, kind of an asshole. He was the nephew of the company's owner. Wow. So that'll do it. Regardless, it seems like Harrison took this slight kind of personally. And so about a week before the brutal double murder, he put a GPS tracker on Amelia's car.
This dude is batshit crazy. Really, bro? See, that's why, man, you can't trust nobody in the damn world, y'all. We have watched plenty of videos just from Mike about teachers and students and how the students get freaking mad and kill the teachers over grades and all type of craziness. Then you got people that you work with just because they mad about what you have said about them or whatever at work. They decide to put a damn track on your car and then follow you home, sneak in the garage while she had got into the garage, y'all. She closing the door, having no idea that this man had snuck into this freaking garage. He sneak into there and stab her, then go stab her husband. Like, you can't even trust your damn employees. One of them might be a goddamn crazy mother serial killer or something, man. This, man, life is just, I'm telling y'all, man, just be careful, y'all, because you never know who is crazy out here.
Soon he learned where she lived, and the night of, he got there ahead of her. Right? He worked from home, so no one would suspect him hiding around, and he snuck into her house, and he murdered the couple. He then hung around in the house for about 3 hours, before leaving to go home to Mississauga. He returned then at about 5 a.m. and set the house on fire, obviously after having a good think about the evidence he had left behind. Harrison Brown ultimately pleaded guilty to the first-degree murder of Amelia Rirac and the second-degree murder of Andrew Rirac, and in December 2023 he was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole for 25 years. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this old video. It means a lot to me that you're here. You know it does. It always just does mean so much to me. If you'd like some more of that chapter, well, I mean, I put out 2 videos almost every week. But you can also check out the That Chapter podcast, where the next episode, we just did 2 episodes on the DC snipers. The next episode is on Jared Schaefer. The episode after that is on the Brand's Chicken Massacre. The episode after that is on this weird, batshit insane jetpack murder. Hey you and welcome, my name is Mike, and in this whole episode of the That Chapter podcast, I'm here with Keith, and we're in a haunted attic.
That'd be great.
Do you want to do a Ouija board up here?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
I like that story a lot. I'm
chills, man. Got chills.
You got chills?
Yeah.
Fucking baby.
Today.
It's good, or at least my cat tells me it's good, so give it a go. But you know, until the next whole video, we should be up in a couple of days. Please take care of each other and yourselves, because guess what? I love you. Mike, yeah.
Man, y'all, if I had enough time in the day, I would listen to a lot more Mike podcasts, man. Seriously, y'all, it just ain't enough time in the day to do everything that you want to do. But as far as these stories go, the last one, 25 to life, well, 20, he got life and he can't have the possibility to parole until 25 years. I think I heard that right. Okay, that's okay. It's okay, man. Y'all already know how I am, man. Just give these people freaking life and be done with it. Point blank, period. That man snuck up into this lady house and killed her and her husband and set the house on fire and did all that craziness. Life. You got life. Period. Get out my face. I don't even want to talk to you no more. Get the fuck out my face, man. And the first one, what was the first one, y'all? Was that Naromi? Like, that man did it, man. He did it, man. And we, at this point, can pretty much assume that she is the season. We don't even know where her body ended up yet. Man, like, oh, y'all, like I said, man, you fall in love with somebody and you never know who you fall in love with. Might be the most craziest mother you ever met in your life, man. And let me see, y'all, what's the second one real quick, and I'm gonna let y'all get up out of here, man. The second one, the freaking dude, I don't know what's up with this guy either, man. I don't know what's up with him, who he is he a serial killer? Did he do it one time? We don't even know if that was actually the guy in the surveillance footage, man. Like, this was a mystery man. Like, seriously, everything about him is a mystery, y'all. And it seemed like it's gonna just remain that way. And that freaking murder scene was so gruesome, man, with all that blood, man. Rest in peace to that young lady, too. And it's just sad that we have no clues, but the clues that we can go off of, you would think that that was not his first rodeo. That was not his first time at the OK Corral. You know what I'm saying, man? I ain't trying to be funny. I'm just, trying to just be me. But it's sad too, y'all. One more thing I want to say about him is the fact that dude could be goddamn your next door neighbor. I'm just saying, man, he could be your freaking next door neighbor. And another thing too, and then I'm gonna let y'all go for real, man. Another thing, like, everything keep popping into my head, things I want to say about this shit. Another thing is, man, this dude right here, when he walked out, this is a ILF too. We don't even know if it's actually that guy, but I'm talking about that surveillance footage. We don't even know if it's actually him, but if it is him, he didn't have no blood on him at all. And if you look at them pictures of how much blood was left on that bed and on that floor, it's feel like it's impossible for it to actually even be that guy, even though in my head I'm thinking it's that guy. Like, that's the image that come into my head, that dude who was walking in and out during the time frame of her murder. But it, like, bro, he was wearing like a short sleeve shirt, shorts, like exposing a lot of his skin, and you didn't see no blood nowhere. Like, period. Now, could you make the excuse maybe he took a shower, washed off or something? I don't know, y'all. I'm finna go let y'all go, man. I'm gonna go let y'all go on this one, man. I just appreciate y'all coming back as always. I love when Mike do the 3 videos, man. I just love it, channel anyway, man. But it's always cool when he give us the 3 different videos within one video. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, comment, subscribe, and do all that. And come on back tomorrow. I don't know who we going to tomorrow yet, y'all. Like, I don't know, man. But best believe whoever we go to, it's going to be another great reaction beanie, yo. But until then, my friends, I got to say this. Love, peace, and happiness. Stay safe. Don't stop. Keep going. Yeah.